Good morning, IBC family. I have your weekly enrichment or your weekly encouragement today. So on Sunday, we talked all about water baptism. And if you haven't heard it, I highly recommend that you do because pastors did a great job of really explaining the meaning of what happens when you go under the water and when you come out of the water, right? And one of the first things they focused on, besides the obedience of God, is all of the benefits that come when you stand up out of that water and what it represents. So I want to start really quick with Galatians 3:27. For as many of you as were baptized into Christ, into a spiritual union and communion with Christ, which is the anointed one, the Messiah, have put on, clothed yourselves with Christ. So we have put on the anointed one and his anointing, right? That's great information for those of us who have already been baptized in water because we've been raised up and put on the anointed one and his anointing, meaning we have authority in this world. We have a say. We are the sons and daughters of the Most High God, creator of the universe, right? Satan tries his hardest from the moment that you become saved to convince you that you're still under and you're defeated. So you get saved and then you say, no, I'm going to stand for this and I'm going to get water baptized. And you come up out of that water, but Satan still tries to say, no, you're defeated, right? But we have to say, no, wait, we put on new clothes. So those of us who have already been baptized in the water, this is your enrichment. This is your encouragement this week. You need to remind yourself, I've already put on new clothes. I am a son or daughter of the Most High God. I have the anointed one and his anointing flowing in me and through me. I have authority in this world, right? We have that authority. That is our enrichment and our reminder. We don't have to be in lack. Lack is part of the curse. We are redeemed from the curse of the law, right? Because Jesus was made a curse for us. So sickness, poverty, defeat, all of that is under the curse. We've been redeemed from that. I don't have to survive in this life. I don't have to stay sick or in pain or suffer mentally or emotionally or physically and constantly be trying to get into a better place. No, wait. I am a child of the Most High God. I am the daughter, the son of the King. This is that reminder for us. It's a reminder that we can have a choice. We can live overwhelmed by the next situation, circumstance, or symptom, or you can remind yourself of who you are and walk through this life empowered by the spirit of faith. I heard a story about a preacher one time who was sitting and watching a boxing match. And just before the boxing match, one of the contestants came out and said they were a Christian and shared their faith. And so the preacher was like, okay, I want that guy to win. And while the fight was going on, he was speaking in tongues and praying over this guy and saying, Lord, let your fighter win. And then all of a sudden, flashing across the screen was the words, this has been pre-recorded. And it listed the Christian fighter's name as the person who already won. And the preacher said he felt so foolish praying for a fight that had already been fought. So think about that from God's perspective, right? Interesting how Christians must look to God when we are begging God and praying, God, heal me, heal me, heal me, help me, help me, help me. And God's saying, interesting, they're asking for and praying for me to help them win a fight that Jesus has already won for them. See that correlation there? That's what water baptism represents, that you and I have accepted this new life, this redeemed life. Our battles are already won for us. We don't have to keep sitting there pleading our case to God when God's like, but it's already done, right? Our only job is not to fight, try to fight, but our job is not to fight a fight that Jesus has already won, right? Our job is to enforce with our faith the victory that he has obtained for us. That's our job. Through faith, we are going to get to that victory that God already obtained for us. So don't pray and beg God to heal you and help you. No, he already did. You need to take your place of authority and begin to receive that healing through your faith voice, right? Remind yourself of who you are and whose you are. When that pain hits, it's not, God, please heal me. It's, God, I thank you that my body is redeemed from the curse of the law. Jesus, you died on the cross and you took that sickness. You took that sin. You took that pain. My body is healed and whole from the top of the head to the soles of my toes. That's you remembering who you are, right? We should go through life with the same joy and assurance and carefree attitude that we already know the outcome. And that's something that preacher said too. He said afterwards, they finished the fight, and he said it was so enjoyable, so much more enjoyable, because they already know who won. So every time that Christian boxer hit the ground, they didn't worry, they didn't sit there and go, oh no, get up. They already knew the outcome. And that's how we should walk through this life, right? Already knowing that we are healed, we are whole, that there is good on the other side, that our victory is just around the corner. And that's where we have to stand our ground in faith, continuing to confess with our faith voice what is ours. That's how you get to that other side, right? We go through life knowing our outcome. We can encounter this life of faith with absolute joy, peace, and assurance, knowing full well that he has already won our victory, and the victory is ours. So that is your encouragement and your enrichment for this week. Remind yourself. When you see yourself going, please God, please, stop and say, no, wait, he's already won it for me. And that's when you put on that authority. It's a total different perspective. You know, when you're begging for something or pleading for something, you're a little bit more in the state of like, oh, please, please, please. But when you know it's already yours and you own something, you know, if someone's trying to get into your car, you're not going, please don't take my car. Please don't take my car. No, you walk over and say, I'm sorry, that's my car. That is mine. I have the keys. Walk away, right? There's a big difference in your attitude and how you present and how you speak when you know something is yours and that is not allowed to be touched. Well, this week, remind yourself, healing is yours. Prosperity is yours. Provision is yours. Peace is yours. Flowing and functioning relationships, job promotions, those are yours. So begin to claim them. Go to the Word, use your faith voice, and have a great week. Bye.